There were so many unanswered questions. There were so many unanswered questions, and I'm a person with this stuff I wanted answered, and I'm willing to dig, and it's taken a while.
And what do you think of the answers you've gotten?
I think they're amazing. I think they're totally amazing.
Craig Patterson's amazing roots go back more than a century here in Red Wing. But it's the first time he's ever seen the town surrounded by its imposing bluffs on the banks of the Mississippi.
This really is a historical moment.
It's a fascinating story because it involves one of Red Wing's most important women, Julia Bullard Nelson. She dedicates her life to the service of others, and the first deal she comes up with is teaching in the freedmen's schools.
In Tennessee, this Minnesota native taught former slaves, including Jeremiah Patterson.
This story was the most mysterious. This one was mysterious because Jeremiah Patterson, my great-grandfather, he was, as I say, he was like the fly in the ointment here.
Well-known activist Julia B. asked Jeremiah to move north to run her farm outside Red Wing.
He met the boss's daughter, I guess you might say, or at least the wealthiest man in the town's daughter. Jeremiah met Vernon Gaylord. The Gaylord family of Belvedere is very prominent and still well known around these parts. And they married and began their family.
The 1886 marriage between this black man and white woman was legally recognized and apparently socially accepted. The Pattersons went on to run several businesses. Their 9 children assimilated well in the rural river town, graduating from high school when it was a rare accomplishment.
There's no record, oral or written, in the family of any discrimination of any sort in Red Wing and the Red Wing area to these kids.
The Pattersons called this farm home in 1905. Jeremiah was an expert horseman. It was a skill he passed on to another generation.
My grandfather, he purchased horses for the U.S. cavalry during World War I.
2 of Jeremiah Patterson's sons enlisted in World War I and received their own farewell parade.
They were sent to a segregated training camp, and they went on segregated trains. So when they left town, there were just 2 of them, and the townspeople, it appears, felt this wasn't fair. They had been having parades and bands and things when the other boys went off to war. Now they've got these 2 guys. What are we going to do for them? So they gave them a dinner at the St. James Hotel.
Some Pattersons remained in the state through the 1920s, until the era's intolerance likely caused them to move.
That's another little-known story about Minnesota in general, that the Ku Klux Klan was very active in the Midwest in the 1920s, the early 20s. And Red Wing had we had 3 large demonstrations in 1923, 24, and 25. That was about the time the Pattersons, the last of them, decided to leave.
And it would be nearly half a century before another black family would return to Red Wing.
The town of Red Wing needs to realize that there is a heritage here, an African-American heritage that really precedes, in many cases, some of the Norwegians and Swedes and Germans we know about. It goes way back, and that's important.
Now, 4 generations later, another Patterson is making an important connection to his heritage.
I am so happy to be here because this is my roots. It's an interracial story that goes way back. The fact that I am sitting here and able to talk about it with this kind of forum, it really it warms my heart.